Since the demise of one Pink Ranger, there was another that should have been, but instead someone else from the same season became the Pink Ranger instead. That's why I'm reminiscing 15 years since Protect the Quasar Saber, but before that, The Power of Pink. Welcome everyone, Anthony Murs Jr. on PRLostGalaxy2014 with podcast episode 118 here on Terra Venture, presented by my self-devoted fan page on Facebook and the two Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film series pages, and with the group page also devoted to the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy TV series all together, and as well as the Morphin Megaverse Power Rangers Facebook group. If you have not seen any of those, check them out now. Today is the 15th anniversary since the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy episode The Power of Pink has aired, the sequel episode to the team-up of Lost Galaxy and In Space to the 10th Power. Well, actually, at the time when this video was made, I had to, this was also the 10th anniversary of one of my favorite movies. Well, if you want to see that, there's the movie rant link to it on top of the screen somewhere, but not where my, YouTube name is. So I'm going to have to put it somewhere in between the section of the video so you'll see it, or put it in the comment section of that video. So yeah, I checked the air dates for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy from Ranger Wikis and the episode listings of when these episodes aired back in the day, and I thought about this as the 15th anniversary since we've seen the demise of Kendrix, the first Pink Galaxy Ranger. And we know what the problem was there behind the scenes. Valerie Vernon, who played Kendrix in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy for the first 31 episodes, if I'm correct, 31 episodes, was diagnosed with leukemia. But she didn't start getting the leukemia, diagnosis until around, I suppose, the second half, or was it during the late first half, when they were about to close the Lights of Orion story arc. I'm not quite sure on that. And by the time we got to an episode where Kendrix hardly had any on-screen scenes with Valerie playing her character, a lot of her scenes, well, in the following episodes in between, I suppose, Memories of Miranoi all the way to the Chameleac Warrior till these two episodes here, Kendrix had hardly had any further scenes with Unmorphed, but most of the majority of the scenes in the following episodes, Blue to the Test, and Mean Wheels Mantis, and such, and the Chameleac Warrior, had her voice dubbed by someone that's not Valerie Vernon, but instead, well, when you hear Kendrix's voice being dubbed in the scenes when Valerie wasn't playing her part, you can tell that her voice was dubbed by a stand-in actress unknown, and some people would say that Serena Vincent did her voice, deepen it to make it sound like it was Kendrix, but it wasn't really Valerie at all. But as soon as when we got to this episode, 15 years later today, I thought about this episode and thinking back at this episode, because this was one of the most tragic episodes in all of Power Rangers, and what would have worked, and what could have transcended to make Lost Galaxy even better, despite the rewriting and some sort of recastings. I mean, as much as we've seen the recast, as much as I've seen a photo of who was originally going to be Maya, trust me, because the next podcast episode 119, I'm going to discuss who could have been Maya throughout all of Lost Galaxy instead of Serena Vincent. Trust me, because I'll talk about that the next time I do that podcast. Trust me when I tell you when it will happen, when I'll explain it all. But, however, following the episode and the demise of Kendrix, and also with the Psycho Rangers and the Special Psycho Pink being destroyed, thank greatness or goodness or something, in a way. Well, the photo that I have here is a really rare split photo of what if Patricia Jolie, who played Cassie the pink first was the pink Turbo Ranger, the second one, then the pink Space Ranger would then become, for the third Pink Ranger in a row, as the pink Galaxy Ranger. You know, I never thought about this 15 years ago, because seeing how Cassie was about to come to a demise by Psycho Pink with the Savage Sword, although Kendrix saved her life from getting killed, and because knowing her Astromorpher was being smushed under the chasm of the Savage Sword in the process, and when Kendrix finally destroyed the Savage Sword, and when Kendrix died and her spirit and all that, and Cassie's Astromorpher was reformed. You know, if only there was a better solution to this. If I can put it down as much as possible, but what if Cassie was the Pink Galaxy Ranger, but knowingly, I mean, well, look at another Pink Ranger back in the Zordon era that has been 3 different Pink Rangers in a row. Cat Hiller, Catherine Sutherland's character from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers till the first half of Turbo. Why do you think Cat had been the second Pink Mighty Morphin Ranger, the Zeo Ranger 1 Pink, and the first Pink Turbo Ranger? So that makes 3 Pink Rangers in a row that she was. So Cassie would have had the opportunity to be the Pink Galaxy Ranger, her third Pink Ranger in a row, but what I think the problem, well, we know what the problem was there was, I realized that Patricia Jolie wasn't getting paid enough, like, you know, shared with the same amount that the rest of the Space cast was getting when they were filming the team-up episode with the Lost Galaxy cast for their second episode with them, and somehow she was also unhappy that actually she was also unhappy with her being paid for the whole episode at the time as well, and some other stuff was going on too behind the scenes between Saban and Jolie, so I knew exactly what was going on there. So instead, they had to pick someone else from the Power Rangers and Space cast, and we know who that turned out to be, and we know it was Melanie Perkins, who previously played Astronema in Power Rangers in Space, the lead villain of the series, to be the new Pink Galaxy Ranger as the reformed Karone. Well, in fact, tomorrow is also, well, actually, at the time when this video was made, because I had to release this podcast so late, was, on the 6th of November when Protect the Quasar Saber aired, I suppose. This episode was that episode really revolutionized how much I love Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, seeing Karone as the second Pink Ranger. As much as, like, one of the things I've also liked about Lost Galaxy to me is that for 15 years, there were some shades of Mighty Morphin to me a little, but mainly from the 3rd season with the Pink Ranger swap and something else in there. With the Pink Ranger change, that you go from having the original for the whole long time of the season or so, and then when the character is written off or had a send off, and then you find someone else to replace that Pink Ranger who was her originally. You find someone else, try to see if it enhances the show, and guess what? Well, Karone is the Pink Galaxy Ranger, enhanced the show, but if Cassie was the Pink Galaxy Ranger in Kendrix's absence, I think that would have enhanced Lost Galaxy in my interest, because I like Cassie, and she's one of my favorite Pink Rangers. But Karone, she was a perfect choice. I mean, Karone was such a perfect choice because due to the fact that a lot of people like Astronema and Power Rangers in Space, and why Astronema and why Karone was such a very likable character, they had to pick someone close enough, because because I knew then there was so many connections to Power Rangers in Space within Lost Galaxy, but knowing Lost Galaxy is a different space themed series. And this was also one of those thoughts I've had before I even did these kind of videos here about the Pink Ranger recasting, what would have worked. And what would have worked if I did Power Rangers Lost Galaxy back then, but knowing I was a 7-year-old kid, a 6.5 going on 7-year-old kid back in 1999, 15 years ago, if I was working for Saban, if I was old enough writing Power Rangers and doing Lost Galaxy and doing it my way, and it actually from start to finish, what would have happened was, one of those thoughts I've had was, instead of having Kendrix as the Pink Ranger in the beginning and Maya as the Yellow Ranger, my thoughts was, from the start of Lost Galaxy with Quasar Quest, what if Kendrix was the Yellow Galaxy Ranger and Karone was the Pink Galaxy Ranger, and Maya would be the mentor of the Galaxy Rangers, when knowing that Lost Galaxy never had a mentor figure for the Rangers, because the Rangers, well, knowing that they were the first team to fend for themselves and, you know, such and like that. But I wish they did that, or I don't know how that would go. I don't know how it would have went back then. Yeah, that's what I would imagine. What if Maya was the mentor, Kendrix was the Yellow Ranger, and Karone would, you know, as reintroduced as the Pink Galaxy Ranger from the start, instead of having wait until 32 some episodes later after Kendrix's death and see Karone as the Pink Ranger, or Cassie at least. Just think about it. Have it simmer in your head and just think about it. Well, those are just my thoughts, but that's what I was thinking about earlier when I was doing this kind of video, and you know, before I even recorded it. But I didn't record it because my camera, my voice recorder was off, and I didn't record what I was actually saying when I'm in this, you know, this very room with my door locked. But actually, Cassie would have done a good job. I mean, Patricia Jolie would have done a good job as the second Pink Galaxy Ranger. Because if she did, if she was the Pink Space Ranger and she was great as the second Pink Turbo Ranger, she would have did just fine as the second Pink Galaxy Ranger. If she wasn't being underpaid at the time when they did their second team up episode, we would have been just fine with what was going on. But till then, it's like that's like a big middle finger insult to Jolie, because knowing she worked so hard last season of Power Rangers and in the season after that, half of it, and up to the team up with the Lost Galaxy cast, it was such a problem. I mean, to the 10th power, there was no difficulties. This, I mean, with Power Pink was starting to get really difficult for her, and that's what made her lead Power Rangers. And also, Cassie was written off from the show's history, as well as Ashley and Carlos. Although TJ and Cassie do come back for Super Mega Force's Legend War, but as their Space Ranger counterparts and not the Turbo counterparts. And Andros, well, the last we seen him was in Forever Red. So we hardly haven't seen any of the Space Rangers anymore since then. Though I was surprised that from the behind-the-scenes photo of Super Mega Force for the Legendary War, when knowing that the Legend War, albeit when it comes in 2 weeks, you know it's going to suck, and you know it already sucked anyway because it's only 2 minutes short. Not much footage of the Legendary Rangers, but more footage of the Mega Force. So, but we could have at least seen footage of the Pink and Blue Space Rangers fighting the Legend War, instead of having Samurai and the Turbo Ranger in action in the American footage, and Ninja Storm and the Alien Rangers. I'll talk about that when I discuss the Legend War after, well, the day after after Super Mega Force's final episode airs. Then I'll do a podcast on it as podcast episode 120 as scheduled. But still, I mean, Cassie would have been a good Pink Galaxy Ranger. Again, trust me, because, well, Karone, I love you. I mean, I like I like the whole redemption of having Karone as the Pink Ranger, and you know, after being a villain the whole series, the previous season, that was just a great way to make Lost Galaxy be such a well-written Power Ranger season, and that's exactly one of the many things why the Neo Saban era is lacking this kind of stuff, is because this is why the Neo Saban era this is why the original Saban era of Power Rangers has something that the new Neo Saban era of Power Rangers doesn't. Great writing, great character development, and great story and character progression. And, you know, with such complex stories like what Lost Galaxy and Time Force and In Space had, you know, from seasons like that, you know, the Neo Saban era can try to be all childish and Sesame Street-like with their writing such all they want. But the original Saban era, Mighty Morphin to, I suppose, Wild Force, they had some of the best writing Power Rangers had to offer. Although Wild Force's writing and acting was kind of clunky, well, in black and gray areas, but you get that point there. But at the same time, but looking at I think this is why one of the things I've always cherished about Lost Galaxy was the way how it was crafted and the way how it was written. But based on the original, based on the theories I've been having, every time I rewatch these episodes, rewatch the season, and also cherish about the show, about this particular season of Power Rangers, I've always had those theories about this and that about Ranger swaps and what would have been in Lost Galaxy and made it a lot better, in my opinion, instead of what we already had, because we know that Ginga Man was such a much difficult Sentai to develop from, for a Power Ranger season because of due to its nature-themed aesthetic. So, yeah, that would have worked. But still, again, what if, about Kendrix, on the other hand, from the start, if she was the Yellow Galaxy Ranger and Karone was the Pink Ranger from the start, or Cassie, but Cassie, knowing Lost Galaxy had to start off fresh with their own cast, with their new cast of, actors, not to make any ties with the previous casts of Ranger actors from the first 6 years, and, well, that would have made some sense for me. So just wait until podcast episode 119 next week or so when I discuss about the actress that would have been the Yellow Galaxy Ranger instead of Serena Vincent. Well, I'll talk about that next time. So what do you guys think about this, thinking back at this small topic here, because there's nothing much to talk about if Cassie was the Pink Galaxy Ranger after Kendrix, after her death and all that, and Valerie Burden had to undergo treatment for leukemia until later on, after her treatment was cleared up. She came back for the final part of the entire series of the final episode and such like that. But, what do you guys think of this topic? I know I didn't have much to say in this because this was a small topic I didn't know about, and I didn't think this was going to happen thoroughly 15 years ago. And, before a time before wikis and such like that, in my time. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'm off for the day and tonight. So this is Anthony March Jr. on PRLostGalaxy2014, logging off, and I'll see you guys right back here with the next podcast and discussion about what Rangers should have been next time. So be sure to subscribe, comment, and so forth. Sorry I didn't have that much to say, but this is just a small topic and something that was just a theory that would have worked. And I'll see you guys right back here again soon. So thanks for watching and listening. And this ramble here on Terra Ventures Conference Hall, although short, is now over.